Okay, tree access. So we're going to be making this. We're in here. I noticed the problem with this sketch. You'll notice that it's inside the egg, and the reason is because we built it on the small egg on the inside. So I'm just going to create another line, and basically just by doing that, I can get it parallel. There, it's parallel. Um, 1.5, and I'll just create. And what I'll do is I'll set the midpoint to be there, and I'll set that. I'll just set it to 1/2 inch for now. We'll deal with that later on. So that sketch, that looks like it's going to be way too far. So even that's going to be really far. So there we go. So I've got it. Yeah, that looks kind of good. Okay, so that changes my plane and stuff. So that plane was based on that. So sketch 3. So what I can do here is use those 2 dots. So now I'm getting the dots that I need. And then plane 4, I'm going to use that. So basically use those 3 dots. And now my plane is just off just a little bit, which is what I want. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this, and there we go. I'm going to add it, and I'm going to merge with part 1. So there we go. Now I have my little thing. So again, this sketch, gonna have it nice and close. And if I hide, there we go. So that looks good. Now the problem here, all right, so what I've done is I've extruded it. So it's a new part instead. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a Boolean where I'm going to, where these parts intersect, I'm going to select part 2 and that part. Yeah, not quite what I wanted to do. That's not looking the way I want it to. Get rid of that Boolean. Okay, so I'm going to do a Boolean with this. And okay, so there's the small part on the inside. So I'm just going to change this a little bit more. All right, so basically this Boolean does, what it does is it goes wherever these parts intersect, we're going to create a part. And then I can do another Boolean where I'm going, okay, take this part and join it with this part, and just like that, I've got a part. I'm not getting the result that I want. But it might be just changing that value. Because basically this is going up to it. Okay, but in the interest of time, I want to move on. So we have this bottom part here. Okay, so we need to do a fin here. So right now, if we do our front plane, we can do the fin. And if we look at how this is structured, it's kind of like that, like that. So if I do a spline, and how far up? Just a little bit down. Can I get that at all? So a spline tool, I can get a curve like that. So that's a spline. And then if I look at basically what I'm going to do is some point like that. And if I double click that, that closes it. And this is going to be on the inside, so I just need to join it. So basically, I've got a part like that. And that spline tool, the idea behind this is a starting point, another point, and then it will bend based on where I go. So if I want to have intricate things, I can add points, and when I double click, I can set it. So there we go. There's my example of a spline. I'm just going to undo that. So I've got a spline now, and what I'll do is I'll extrude that. And with the extrude, I'm going to go symmetric. And there we go. So there's my part. I should be able to do a circular pattern, and that part, the axis of the pattern, I should be able to do 3 of them, 360 degrees, and just like that, there's my part. And I'm good. So if I want to join all of this together, I'm just looking at kind of a little cone at the end here. So let's just add that little cone right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hide all planes. Just deal with the top plane. So this plane, I'm going to add another one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it right there. Okay, so this plane, that's what I'm going to draw off of. And what I'll do here is I'm just going to I'm doing this the wrong way. Okay, there's a variety of ways I can do this. Okay, if I'm drawing off this plane, what I can do is I can just create a circle. Circle like that. And then if I add another plane, I can just use that. And normalizes my view. And if I just do another circle using that point, there we go. Basically, I'm just going to hide everything except those 2 circles. So this is the loft tool. So I can take that circle and create a loft. That creates a cone. That first sketch, make it a little bit bigger. And then in between these 2 planes, guess what? I can do another plane. And I can do the math on here. I'm trying to do this fast, so I'm ignoring the math, but I could do the calculations. So that was 0.1, other way, 0.1. 0.1. Okay, so I've got a bunch of planes here. So I'm just realizing their 0.1 is going to be a little too much. So just having that. And my goal here is just to show you how to do it. Flip it 0.05. So what you have here is you have that kind of thing. So what I'll do here is I'll just create a sketch on that plane, and what I'm going to do is just do a really small circle there, and then a bigger circle that's much bigger than everything. And using that, I'm just going to remove so I'm going to hide other sketches. I'm going to hide the part. So that part I'm going to do extrude remove. Up to face. And what I'll do here is go, okay, go up to that face, and just remove with all. And if I do that, you can see I get that result. All right, so if I only show sketch 8, and so much of this is just knowing where to click. So I'll use that for my next sketch. And I'll just simply use that little piece, use that big piece, and do the same thing. I'm going to extrude remove. And up to face. Go that way to that face. But that's the basic idea. I can just pull those parts out and do that. So now that I've got that, show all parts. I'm just going to take all the parts and create the Boolean and union. That's all one big piece now. I'm going to hide all of my planes. I'm going to hide all of my sketches. And now I've got this, and I don't have this nice curve thing, so that's where I'm going to start using the fillet. And the radius for this, that can smooth things over. So there's a couple things. If I click a face, then it will smooth over everything in the face. So that actually works quite nicely. So just like that, I get a much nicer looking thing. I'm going to add more of a fillet with this. But yeah, you can figure out So if you get this kind of error, 0.003, basically your fillet is too much. So you need to play with that, or simply just simply do one at a time, and then so you can get that, or you can undo that and get that kind of result. So and I can add fillets. I can play with these settings as well to get the result that I want. Yeah, not happy with how that turned out. I got to play with some ideas on how to make that more effectively. But basically, I kind of have my little guy done here. There's my rocket. I'll share that with you. You can play with the settings and figure out what works for you.